Hey, it's Eunice, and thank you so much for making a date with me again on Nurture to Nurture, and welcome to Parenting Two Kids Part 6. And today we are looking at going through divorce. It is not a nice thing. It's not a nice thing, not on the children, not on the parents. It's not a nice thing on anyone that is involved in that situation. It is cruel, it is harsh, it is horrible. And guess what? Apparently, divorce is worse than death. And let me explain. You know, when somebody dies, you take them to the morgue, you get them, you have the funeral, and then you go and bury them, you dig the ground and you put them 6 feet under, you bury them. Or if you cremate them, you cremate them as when they are gone. You go home and you don't see them. Now here comes divorce. The marriage is dead, and yet you sign the paperwork, everything is done, you have a divorce certificate, you got it, whatever it is, everything is done and closed. But guess what? You go to the supermarket and there he is. You go to the shop and there she is. You go to the park and there it's like, oh my God, the person has come back to life. It died, but it didn't die. The person is staring at me, and that is what makes it so horrible. It never goes away. It's there and it never goes away. So it's not nice. And no child wants their parents to go through divorce. No child actually wants to go through divorce. But sometimes two parents are not working, and the best thing for them is to actually go through divorce. And the fact that they go through divorce doesn't mean that they don't love themselves. Sometimes two people are not just put together. Okay, so I have gone through divorce and I know the impact of that divorce can have on children. So I was actually intentional about, minimizing the impact that it's going to have on my children. And what did I do? This is what I do. First of all, point number one, I prayed. I prayed for God to cushion my children. I prayed for God to cushion them and also to give me the wisdom to be able to navigate this with them. And because I prayed for God to also give me the strength, because it is draining and very exhausting. If you have been through divorce, you know what I'm talking about. And if you're on the verge of going through divorce too, you know what I'm talking about as well. And number two is involve your children and let them know that it's not their fault, because children tend to want to blame themselves and think that it's their fault. Please let them know that it's not their fault. And number three is reassure them of your love. It's not working between the parents, but it doesn't mean that your love for your child is any less or anything like that. So reassure them of your love and let them know that it's not their fault as well. And the other point I also did on my journey, point number 4, what I did was we read together, we shared books around divorce that was appropriate for my teenager's age at the time, and I encouraged him to also share his feelings and thoughts, and we navigated that together. And when he asked questions, that would be my next point. That would be point number 5. Be honest about it. Be honest to answer the questions that they may have and they ask. Be honest about it, because they will know if you're telling lies, and you don't want them to distrust you because you're telling lies. And number 6, they may need some extra support as well from when they go to school, but please discuss it with them, and then if they agree for that such support, then see that support for them. I hope that these tips will help you in your own situation, and make a date with me on the next episode of Parenting Two Kids. Don't forget to like and share. And I say to you, love is patient, love is kind.